I believe you've done more shows than any other international rock and roll band in Brazil. It's unbelievable. Do you remember any funny or bizarre stories of all these trips to Brazil? Something that was culturally very strange for British men.
Well, I learned to dance the samba.
Oh, yeah.
I'm fantastic at it. Really, not really. But it's a good thing when you're off duty. But I don't know. It's all the shows have their own character, and I remember thinking which is the loudest country or the loudest audience, and I think at one time the loudest audience I ever heard was in Rome. We played in a side of a motorway somewhere, and it was incredible. And then Istanbul, and then of course we came to Brazil, and it was completely insane. I was deaf for a week, but those are the sort of things you remember. In the early days, you remember a lot because it never happened before. But as life goes on, you really remember more to do with the general feel of a tour and meeting up with friends and stuff like that. I remember the first tour I did, worldwide tour with Deep Purple. I went sightseeing every day. So the next tour was about museums and art galleries, and then when you've seen all that, it's about restaurants and bars. And by the time you get to that, you've made a few friends in each country, and so that's kind of what we look for. It's a social thing too, you know. It's not all work.
I remember about Brazil was going there, and I was doing a little drum seminar, and I thought I knew how to play samba. And then some of your guys started playing it. I realized they knew nothing.
People often say that you guys are part of this holy trinity of hard rock alongside Zeppelin and Sabbath. Do you think it's an appropriate label? I mean, do you feel that these three bands really changed the landscape of heavy music?
It's a question of timing. We all sort of came up roughly at the same time. And there was a change in the 60s. Yeah, with Cream and Hendrix and stuff. Music was changing all the time. And we just happened to be in the right place at the right time, I think.
I think as far as the UK is concerned, I think we definitely, the three bands you're talking about, definitely had a major influence. But there's some great stuff going on in America too. You know, really great bands who are, again, evolving into what we call a more modern style of rock and roll. So it's happening all over the world, really.
And what's the biggest misconception about Deep Purple that you guys hear from fans or the press that bothers you?
But we're wealthy.
No, you're not wealthy. How's that possible?
I don't know. You have to talk to the accountants about that.
We lived in the UK, well, we lived in the UK when things were really good.
Yeah, that's a good misconception. We're all fabulously rich. It just isn't true.
Yeah.
Maybe we were at one point, but that's in the 70s and it's all gone.
Let's put it this way, we made a lot of other people really, really rich.